Hello and welcome to Perspective. I am Jawad Tehami. On 9th of May, the entire nation, in fact the entire world, saw the desecration of national monuments and the national dignity. And that brought the life in major cities in the country to literally a standstill, much to the detriment of the common man. And now, when we talk about this particular day, the top leadership in the government as well as in the military have termed this particular 9th of May as the black chapter in Pakistan's history. Now, after the gruesome acts of violence, vandalism and ransacking which were targeted specifically towards the government buildings as well as the military installations, we have seen more and more Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leaders have started quitting the party. Now, in another major development, the Federal Cabinet has endorsed the decisions which were taken at the National Security Committee meeting as well as during the Special Corps Commanders meeting to bring the perpetrators of those violent acts to justice as per the relevant laws of Pakistan. In another major development, we have seen the delegation of Punjab government led by Commissioner Lahore held negotiations with Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Chief Imran Khan and his legal team to chalk out the SOPs for searching those 30 to 40 terrorists the Punjab government thinks are hiding at the Zaman Park residence of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chief. We have also seen that Information Minister Maryam Aurangzeb, after the condemnation which was made by Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Chief Imran Khan of those attacks which were committed on 9th of May, the Information Minister has said that Imran Khan's condemnation is not enough. Rather, he must confess that he planned those attacks and should take the responsibility of those attacks. Now, as the political temperature in the country remains quite high, what specific future Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf does hold in the national mainstream of Pakistan's politics? And what is the way forward, especially when Pakistan is faced with already economic difficulties? We'll be delving deeper into what way forward lies for the political leadership of the country in order to sort out the situation. We're honored to have been joined in the studio by Ms. Asiya Nasir. She is former member of the National Assembly, belongs to JUIF. Ms. Asiya, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on Perspective. And at the same time on Skype, we are being joined by Mr. Rana Maqbool Ahmad. He is Senator from Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and former IG Police Sindh. Mr. Rana Maqbool Ahmad, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on Perspective tonight. On Skype, we are also honored to have been joined by Mr. Ali Rashid. He is leader, belongs to Pakistan People's Party. Mr. Ali Rashid, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on Perspective tonight. Really appreciate that. Now, let me begin the discussion with you, Ms. Asiya. What sort of a mindset, let me begin with this, what sort of mindset do you think does it depict of a certain political party which had been in power for 3.5 years, resorting to such type of acts of violence, vandalism and ransacking, specifically targeting the government buildings and the military installations?
Thank you very much, Jawad, first of all, for inviting me to to Perspective for such an important discussion which is, I think, held throughout the country today. And before I start coming to the question which I asked, I would just like to condemn the terrorist attack today which has held on Amir Jamaat Islami Sirajul Haq Sahib, and we are thankful to Allah Almighty that he is safe and secure, because we always condemn all sorts of terrorism in Pakistan, not only in Pakistan but wherever terrorism takes place. Let's coming to the political party, the extremist, and I must say the terrorist political party which have just emerged. It's not emerged, but actually they have exposed themselves that they are the terrorist and the extremist party. And I think that this mindset, it's not like that this mindset has just come on the scene, means it has abruptly, but no, it since PTI came into being, it was known, and I think the serious politicians, they have been telling this time and again that Imran Khan and his party, they are of terrorist mindset. The only thing that if he is in power, then it's all is right. But if he is not there, he is not, I think that he is not accepting or he is not tolerating any other factor or any other political party or political figures in Pakistan. So I think that this clearly gives the message that when the leader is of this mindset, what the followers will be. And I think that now they are fully exposed, and the way they have designed, and it was pre-planned. Everything which has happened on 9th, when a very important event was taking place in Pakistan at the Parliament House, when and I think that more than 10 countries parliamentarians, they were participating in Parliamentarians International Convention at Parliament House. At the same time, this incident took place. And I will not say that they have attacked the military installations. I think they were the national installations. They were mine installations. They were your installations. And I think that they have disrespected, they have dishonored, and they have, I must say that disregarded, and they have hurt the feelings and aspirations of millions and millions of Pakistanis.
Right. Mr. Rana Maqbool, what's your understanding of this particular mindset? Doesn't it raise serious questions on the training, the way which the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf supporters have been trained over the years, especially during those jalsas and public gatherings and those fiery and aggressive speeches by their chairman, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Chief Imran Khan?
Thank you very much, Jami Saab. My salam to other two honorable participants. It's an honor and a privilege to participate in such a discussion. Yes, mindset was obvious, but we were very late in understanding and analyzing and properly discerning the mindset. From day one, he is a person who has been launched to destroy this beautiful country, and you might have observed the support he is getting from abroad. They are fish out of water. They are so uncomfortable, his supporters abroad, and you know who are the supporters. We must try to understand the perspective of this total activity, of this idiosyncratic and a sick character. Let me give you the details. Once this incident was analyzed and there was so much of carnage and arson all over, the substantial proof vividly establishes the evidence against this person. And as far as the survey and investigations are concerned, there were 60 to 20 calls intercepted, and there is proof to it, by his people, by his cohorts, by him, and patronizing this. This is not only the result of his hate speeches. It was an organized assault on the integrity and solidarity of the country, and especially hitting the military outfits, which are really responsible for security of the country, being a very dangerous and unethical contiguous state like India. So he tried to really paralyze that defense in which the people and our people and soldiers are giving lives every day. So I may also remind you, sir, that there was a component of terrorism in its total mission. You might remember there was a very important meeting in the National Assembly, and there were certain legislators sitting in the meeting, and there was a briefing carried out by the DGISI, Mr. Along with Bajwa, a known DGISI, who has a role in this history of disaster. He was trying to convince and indoctrinate into the minds of the legislators that A1 would be this position if we try to build our fences with TTP and we bring them around and reach final rapprochement. That will serve the country's peace and solidarity of the country. I tell you, almost all the legislators, They protested and cried, for God's sake, don't do it. It is not possible because they have been cutting our throats. They have already killed thousands of people. So, do you think it will be possible? Are they credible? And number two, they are not doing this all this fantastic disaster on their own. No, they are being sponsored by the foreign agencies. They are being funded by them, and they are supported by them, like RAW and like Mossad and other agencies as well. So they are really fighting against the integrity of this country. Don't do this. We can't have patch up with them, but still they did. And there were three persons, and mainly Imran Khan himself. He always sponsored and supported this. And finally, they were able to bring about 5,000 terrorists from outside, and they were got settled there. And I tell you, this is on record. There were many terrorists who were jet black, and they were also convicted in 3, 4 capital punishment to death sentences. They were all released. For what purpose? They wanted to have this arm of terrorism with them. And this is how they penetrated here and they came here and they destroyed everything. And they attacked those installations, which were very sacred for us. Not only, and they have the same pattern. You might remember, TTP, they have been destroying the schools. They have been attacking the air bases. This time they destroyed the schools. They attacked air base Mianwali, and they burnt the aeroplane of a hero, which was a symbol of victory for the country. I'm a Malam. They attacked the Corps commander's house, which was Janal's house as well, and lot many, and they beheaded the statue of a brave man, man of history like Colonel Sher and what not. And I can't forget that scene. Once granddaughter of a martyr like Aziz Bhatti, while embracing the plaque and the photograph of her father, and she was crying. What these people have done with us. So this is a grave crime which has been committed,
Right.
and there is so much of substantial proof against them. I personally think there is no choice for the nation and for the stakeholders to prosecute them. But one thing is to be ensured: prosecution has to be fair. The people who are guilty, they are to be punished, and who are
Right.
not guilty, they should not be touched even with a long pole. I tell you, 300 ladies have been identified doing this, and that is electronic evidence against them. And unfortunately, one judge is also there. And I tell you, there is a 16-time links with the most important man of that party of the terrorists, and 400 videos in which this evidence does exist, and they were responsible for committing 256 incidents of terrorism. How can this
Your
be
point,
overlooked and
Mr.
forgiven?
Rana Maqbool, I seek your pardon for the interjection over here. I'll come back to you to discuss this particular point later, further in detail in the show. Let me proceed with the discussion. Mr. Ali Rashid, what's your understanding of this particular behavior by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf supporters, the kind of violence they've carried out on 9th of May?
Auzubillah minash-shaytanir-rajim, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. देखें, it was, in my opinion, all by design. It was all planned out. Why would Mr. Khan, prior to his arrest, pre-record a video which was to be released when he would be arrested? It was just all planned out that when he would be arrested, this video would be released and all mayhem would be unleashed. And now, as things are unfolding, we can see with the evidence and all the phone recordings and phone logs that it was a pre-designed and pre-planned act of violence, and these people which came out, and I'm not surprised, to be honest with you, because this party, I've been observing Mr. Khan for a very long time, and if you see from the time he was in opposition, these kind of things have been happening. Every time when Pakistan is on the right track and things are going in the right direction, he does something or the other to detrack it, to put it off track. Previously, when the PMLN regime was there, in 2016-17, he came out with his dharna. The Chinese premier was coming. He couldn't come because of that. Then they took over PTV. As we speak, and we're talking, since I'm on PTV World, I would like to remind people that how that now Mr. Alvi, who's in power now as the president of Pakistan, he, led by him, his team of violent workers went and barged into PTV and took over PTV's headquarters. Let's not forget the past. And is it a coincidence that every time something or all actions which Mr. Khan and his party are taking, somehow they are impacting and affecting Pakistan in a negative way? It's hampering Pakistan's growth. It's hampering the IMF deal. Name it. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think there are some foreign powers in play who want to harm Pakistan. And if you look at it, the Indian media is having a field day. They have been talking about how what Imran Khan has managed to do, the RAW and all these intelligence agencies put together with billions of dollars of budgets would not be able to do what Imran Khan single-handedly did. Attacked all these, places of, which of the army, the Corps Commander House, etc., etc. And there's a analyst, retired Major Gaurav Arya, who comes on TV. He's actually openly fundraising for Imran Khan. He's saying we need a prime minister like Imran Khan to come back. Our enemies are propagating and are supporting Imran Khan and saying that there should be a fundraiser, that we want Imran Khan to come back in power because that's the only way Pakistan can be destroyed. Now, these are things which we need to, it's like a moment of truth. We need to understand that where are things headed, and why is it so that, if you look at the past 6 months, all the political parties were willing to talk to Imran Khan. Why is it so that whenever Imran Khan was so reluctant to speak, it's already May. I think the PMLN and the PDM had also suggested that we can even speak and have an early election, but come, let's sit and talk. Yet he wasn't interested to speak. It's already, elections are due in October anyway. Now, this goes to show some greater plan which he has in mind to derail Pakistan. We are already going through a tough time economically. We have a lot of issues going on the borders are not safe. We have issues with India going on, terrorists and the Taliban. They are also knocking on our door. So there's a lot of challenges. We don't really need this kind of internal...
Of course, Mr. Ali, Pakistan is of course faced with a lot of challenges already, and all the political stakeholders need to look into those first, and that should have been ideally done by Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and its chief, but that is not exactly the case. Ms. Asya, as Mr. Rana Maqbool has mentioned, that this particular party is being supported from abroad, and the number of calls that have been intercepted in that particular regard. And there is a pattern that has developed when we talk about Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, resorting to such type of violent activities. As Mr. Ali Rashid has also mentioned, that back in 2014 during the dharna, that specifically targeted the government buildings. Now this time around we have seen the same scenario happening. So how does the system address such type of political mainstream party, the acts of which are very much in line to that of TTP?
Yes, I think, Jawad, that what Senator Saab has said is very much true, because we have seen just recently, we have seen that there are 72 members of the Congress, US Congress, who have signed a letter and given to the government of what is happening to Imran Khan and supporting Imran Khan. And then we have seen that members in UK Parliament, they are raising voices to support Imran Khan. And we are saying that means who is being benefited by all this? So definitely those people, those forces who are never in favor of Pakistan, who only wants to see fragmented Pakistan, who really want to see disarmed Pakistan. So it is definitely benefiting them, and it is very obvious. And I think that my political leader Maulana Saab has since long, he is saying this, and now all the other political parties, they have realized and they have acknowledged that he was very true when he says that he is a planted person. He has been installed by the enemies of Pakistan, those forces who are not accepting Pakistan. And I think that we should name take the name of India. So means what, and he was very right that single-handedly what he has done is, I think that all those millions and billions of dollars, they couldn't harm Pakistan, which he has done this. So I think that now the time has come that for a mainstream political party, I think that PTI should not call itself now a political party, because it has proved that it is a fascist, it is a extremist party which has been trained in a way, and it's very true because it was pre-planned, and the videos which we have, which we see that whenever some action is being taken against Imran Khan, he already has some videos, and they are at once they are leaked and they are published to incite the mob, incite the people. And then I think that there's a large number of diaspora also supporting Imran Khan. I think that we should not be neglected, but I think that they should also now realize that this was not the right choice.
So
they have not chosen the right political party.
Do you think they are going to realize finally when more and more party leaders are quitting the party now?
Yes.
Is the diaspora going to realize that the choice?
I think that they have already, because we have not seen much support coming from the diaspora in this scenario, which has taken place since last 1 week. And I think that those people who are really nationalists, who really love Pakistan and who really want a progressive, peaceful Pakistan, they are quitting the party. And I think that they are taking the right decision. And I think in the coming days, we'll see that more people will realize this and they will be quitting PTI.
Right, Mr. Rana Maqbool, how is the system, do you think, going to address this particular problem? Sort of a mainstream political party who had been in power 3.5 years, resorting to fascist acts.
Sorry, but there is some disruption. I couldn't follow whatever you're saying. But at the same time, the addressing the situation, I think there is a plan which has been chalked out, and the people who are responsible, they will be taken to task as for law, and people who are not, they have choices to join the other parties. And as they have already, and today one party has already invited the people who are defecting the PTI. So that is there. It will be all the real proper politicians will be going to the other parties, and then there will be a re-emergence of new parties. And I don't think so it will be a big challenge. The challenge is the leadership of this party, who are so fond of terrorism. They are the challenge. They are to be properly dealt with. Madam was talking about Maulana Fazlur Rahman. Maulana Fazlur Rahman is our hero today. He has taken away the cake due to his firmness and due to determination. He has identified the real cause of ailment. So that is there, and God willing, with the determination of all the parties who are patriotic, that will be solved. And we are going to into election in October, and let there be certain legal action taken against the responsible people, and we will be seeing it will be all peace, and economic conditions will also improve. There are certain decisions, you are watching the symptoms as well. And there are new organization, and there are new groups in the world all over, and there's a freedom being given to certain countries which were in shackles of a unipolar world and one policeman of the world. So things are changing, and very expeditiously changing. And I think there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. So we should be optimistic, and we should rise to the occasion, and the parties, all the parties should rise to the occasion. We should not bow down for any expediency against before the terrorist organization.
So, Mr. Rana Maqbool, what I understand from your take is that you don't see any sort of a future for Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf as a political party in the national mainstream.
No, not the party. Party may stay back, but not with this group of leaders who have really got the party's goose cooked. And not only party's goose cooked, they harm the country so massively. You might be listen to certain interviews or discussion on the Indian TV, which were viral on our social media as well. And there is a speaker saying that Imran Khan is my dream, as Madam was saying. he's my dream. The way he is harming the country, we couldn't harm the country despite having such a big army. So he is doing the jobs of our enemies. So we have to clinch and clip the wings of such persons who have terrorist tendencies or who have been guilty for committing terrorism. So therefore, I think once this all filth is flushed out, sorry to say using this word, so things will be cleaned and things will be purified, and nation will be treading on the path of development and strength and solidarity.
Right. Right, Mr. Ali, one thing makes me curious, because when we talk about the demand which was put forth by Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Chief Imran Khan, that was of the early elections. There were a couple of reasons the government authorities had been saying that the economic difficulties were there, the census was not complete, and the polls should be held simultaneously in the provincial assemblies as well as in the National Assembly simultaneously. Now, if Imran Khan and his party were so confident that they are going to sweep the elections, why couldn't they ideally wait for a couple of more months?
You got me. You know, this is a question which I've been wondering myself, that if this was the case, why couldn't they just wait? And even the committee which was formed, in which both the parties, as in PDM and PTI, were supposed to sit together and talk, you come to the table with some flexibility. You come to the table with wanting to come to some kind of solution to the problem. But when earlier when he came, the team came, he said the PTI's team told PDM that we've been instructed by Mr. Khan that 14th May we are only wanting elections which the court had ordered on the 14th of May. Otherwise, we're not interested. Then what was the point of having these talks? The talks were about meeting in the middle, right? Somewhere in the middle ground, where you let go of 14th May, we may let go of October, and we may meet in the middle. And that's what flexibility is. That is what negotiations are. And that's what talks are. If you're going to be so rigid, and if you're going to come to the table with the same demands which you had prior to the meeting, that goes to show that your intention is not to resolve issues. It is just to get political mileage. It's just to drive your people. You see, there was a time where Bibi Shaheed was martyred, and the People's Party acted very, we had the burden of responsibility was upon us. People came out on the roads, and Mr. Zardari Sahab said, Pakistan Khape. He said, no, this is not on. We are standing with Pakistan, and this will not happen. Adi Faryal Talpur was arrested, and was taken from the hospital on the day of Eid, the Eid night, just to show them malice and their, ill intention from PTI and Mr. Khan. Yet we did not, release any videos. We did not take out we could have done a lot more. Yet we didn't. But this whole thing, the fact that there was a video pre-recorded that if I'm arrested, that people should come out, and the fact that everything happened so systematically, that people reached the Corps Commander house and there was fire, and they burned down, places, things which were so close to our hearts. It hurt the sentiments of the entire nation, not just the army. The morale of the army went down, the morale of the public went down. And it's very heartening to see all this. It's unacceptable. And I think all the people involved in this should be taken to task and dealt with the iron fist.
Right, Ms. Askia, why couldn't Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf wait for another couple of months if it was so confident that it has got very high chances of victory in the elections?
I think Imran Khan knew that his cases were coming up in the court, and he knew that the other political parties, and he will not get any NRO, I must say that. So that's why he just wanted. Another thing that he is, I don't know that what annoying kind of person that who only wants, he's a dictatorial attitude in the political party. I think that we should also learn lessons. It's a lesson for all of us that the dictatorial attitude within the political parties is also very harming, not only for the political parties but for all the whole political system. So I think that it was his, you can say that that dictatorial attitude that he wanted to dictate. And I think that I must say that the political parties, all the political parties should have not gone in talks or dialogue with such a person. And I think that now there's no question of dialogue or going in negotiation with a person who is of such attitude, who has no flexibility, and who cannot, again I must say that, tolerate or accept others. Secondly, I must say that what has happened on 9th May, it's the culmination of PTI's journey from Riyasat-e-Madina to Kaun Bachayega Pakistan to Jalado and destroy everything, whatever comes in your way. I think that this was the whole journey of PTI, and I always wonder that what PTI will going to tell to the future generations and their supporters of their 3 years power or their 3 years government, what they have done, except the politics of revenge, except the politics of means dharnas. And I think that throughout his premiership, he was not down from the container. He was still on the container, and he himself was his opposition. So this is all we felt. And I think that just PTI people, if they can just name one work or one thing which they have done for the Pakistan or in the national interest, except abusing others, except means doing the politics of revenge and all such things of violence. So I think that now the time has come that government and the state of Pakistan needs to take some affirmative actions legally, constitutionally and administratively. And I think that now I think it's evident and all know that what's the future of PTI. PTI has no future. And I think that the PTI's role is over.
Right. Mr. Rana Maqbool, what's your understanding of this? Is it the question of intention when there were negotiations held between the government authorities as well as Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf of holding the provincial assemblies and national assembly polls simultaneously due to a number of reasons? So if Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf was so confident that it could take a sort of a landslide victory, why couldn't it wait for a couple of other months? Could its popularity have decreased by 2 or 3 months later if the polls were held in October simultaneously?
I'm sorry to say they're very unreasonable and they don't analyze the thing in proper perspective. Don't you think it was so foolish on their part to quit the National Assembly? If they're voted out through a democratic process, they should have stayed back and tried to muster support and tried to come back. Why did he quit the Assembly? It was absolutely insane action. Then later on, only 3 days before, the Chief Minister of Punjab got vote of confidence and then dissolved the Assembly without any reason. You might remember, this issue was also raised in the Supreme Court that by Justice Mansoor Ali Shah and Atar Manullah, that let's just ask them what was the reason to dissolve the assemblies. How can you de-enfranchise the people of the provinces without any reason or rhyme? And they did. So Imran Khan has been always for commotion, and due to his naked intentions of creating disruption and disorder in the country. Now, if he could have waited, it is absolutely wise because he is not a wise man. He is being led by others from inside and outside both. He would have waited for 2-3 months if he was so popular. So he tried to manage, and he tried to manage through the courts as well to have elections at this stage. It's so incoherent on the part of the people, and especially 1 or 2 honorable benches as well, asking the elections in 90 days in the 2 provinces. They don't understand that our election scheme, constitutional election scheme, is different from the other countries, from the Westminster system. We don't have the purely Westminster system democracy now. In the Westminster system democracies, the elections are conducted and supervised by the government of the day. Here, the elections are conducted by the caretakers. For example, if the elections are to commence now and under the caretakers, and tomorrow if the National Assembly is dissolved and the general elections, how we can arrange the caretakers in the provinces? Because provincial setup does play a very pivotal role in the conduct of their elections. So they only were up to bloodshedding and up to feuds and up to clashes. This is so insensible. So he is there, he is a bull in the China shop, creating disorder everywhere. So I think now he has committed so much of ghastly crimes. Now he has to face, and his party people who are responsible for that, he has to face. I agree with the honorable participants that now their goose is cooked, and that issue is over. No new political scene will be emerging, but all the same, the other parties who are for democracy, they should continue struggling collectively and jointly with a mission of great determination and a great commitment. That is the answer to this question.
Right, thank you. Please stay with us. Mr. Ali, what's your understanding how the people, especially that belong to youth, who've already been misled or they remain to be ill-informed or less informed, how to make them aware about this sinister design of this particular political party and its head?
I feel that we don't need to do anything. I think it's becoming, as time passes by and things unfold, I think the youth these days is very aware. There's social media, they're understanding things, and the youth today stands with Pakistan, and there's no compromise on Pakistan, and they are proud Pakistanis. And I think now that they're coming to realize, and it's the realization is kicking in that the leader we have been supporting is not exactly working in the interests of Pakistan. Hence, I think a lot of the youth are reevaluating their choice and their decision to support Imran Khan, just like many PTI leaders who have been observing what's going on and have chosen to distance themselves from Imran Khan and PTI, who have started quitting PTI. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I think these are people who were public figures, hence, you're getting to see a lot of them come and do press conferences. But I can assure you there are similar sentiments in drawing rooms and in bedrooms of the young youth who are actually feeling the same. And they're wanting, and they're realizing their mistake, that we've been supporting the wrong person, just like these leaders have come to the conclusion and have understood that their choices were wrong, and they've reevaluated their choice of supporting such a person.
Right, Ms. Asya, do you think the youth in the country has started realizing and they're becoming aware of this particular sinister design, especially when we talk about the comparison of the two protests which were held? One was held by Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, and the other was held and staged by PDM and the right on the Constitution Avenue. It's a stark difference that we could see. The other one that was staged by Pakistan Democratic Movement, it was completely peaceful.
Yes, Jawad, I was just listening to Ali Rashid when he was saying, and I was thinking that because I'm a little follower of the social media also. So what I have observed during this 1 week is that now our youth, they are very talented, they are capable, and they are very wise. They were misled, and they were by this particular political party, and they were shown, they were shown green pastures. But now they have realized, and we are observing that during this 1 week, the hype created on the social media, now it's melting down. It's quite slowly and gradually it's becoming silent and quiet. We have observed that because that hype which was created on the social media throughout these 5 years and the journey of PTI, now it is becoming silent. And I think that now the youth of Pakistan, they have realized that it was a wrong choice, and if not, they are thinking that what choice they have made. And coming to the protest which was 2 days back, the protest which we have seen and the protest which we have seen on the 9th and 10th, I think it's poles apart. The difference is very evident, and it's means everyone has seen that, because the political parties in PDM, they are very experienced politicians, political parties. They are democratic, and they know that how to protect the country and what is in the national interest of Pakistan. And PDM, especially led by Maulana Fazlur Rahman, there was a large number of supporters of JUI there. So, and also other political parties, and we have seen that a large number of youth was in that protest. These parties are, youth are following these political parties too. But the thing is that we have seen that it was very peaceful, it was very calm, and they were listening to their leaders very seriously, very interestingly. And it was, I think that the comparison is really very interesting, and I think this comparison have led the youth of the other side also think that what they have done and what these youth are doing. I think that it's a very good precedent and very good example which PDM has put on 2 days back protest. I think that it was peaceful, and it was a very clear message to PTI, to their leader, to their followers and their supporters, that IK Khan is not the one in Pakistan who can move crowds. There are some other people also who can move crowds and who can bring larger number of people than this political party.
Right, Mr. Rana Maqbool, so how to bring that misled youth back to the reality?
Oh yes, this is what I wanted to discuss with you. Yes, we owe a great responsibility and great duty to the youth, because they have their own problems. Most of them are jobless. Their future is not very bright, and we have to fight against the disappointments they are confronted with. So the PDM, the foremost duty of PDM, the most important challenge for them, PDM, other allies, to chalking out an emergency plan to accommodate the youth and give them the jobs, give them the future, give them financial assistance, give them education. So that has to be the great challenge of PDM and other allied parties. That is in now onus responsibility of the politician to dispense with. They have to pay back to the youth, because if they are thinking of behaving and in a way demonstrating decent attitude towards the things, so why shouldn't the government and the PDM and other parties join heads today or tomorrow and chalk out an emergency plan within a week or so, announce the plan and to start implementing that. You might remember in the beginning, all of you were very young, but I was a student about to join the service. The crisis was there, and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was the prime minister. So he gave a plan of a national volunteer program for the youth. And most of the youth were engaged on not very high remuneration, but reasonable remuneration in different jobs. And that gave a great message of satisfaction to the unemployed youth. So such measures and mechanisms are to be evolved and finally decided and implemented without further loss of time. That is the answer to the question. And
Right.
this plan can be prospective, elaborate, more creative than we can tell today. They must sit down from tomorrow. That is the real challenge. And I think Madam will talk to Maulana Fazlur Rahman. He is a very pushing person. And we will request our party, we will request the Prime Minister. He is already very well focused on this, but due to his enormous responsibilities, perhaps he doesn't have much of time. But we'll request him to spare more time and form a team within a day or two to work on the welfare, progress of, and future of the youth, so that
Right.
this issue is addressed competently.
Right, Mr. Rana Maqbool, one last very quick comment regarding what are the options now at the hands of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Chief Imran Khan?
To sit down and face the consequences, and they have to face trials now. There's none who can forget the process of that. That is about the leadership which is involved into these grave crimes. The other party leaders, and they have already indicating, and we have already discussed that they'll be quitting the party, and new parties will be formed, and new
Right.
political assemblies, re-assemblies will be there, and maybe as there was an invitation by the People's Party today that people who are quitting uh, the PTI, they can join us. They are more welcome there, because they have proved their real credentials. They are not for anything negative and anything unpatriotic. So they are most welcome. But other parties can also welcome, and there is a lot of scope in the Democratic Party. They can join the party. They can form their own party. Their
Right.
second, third, fourth ringer, who are very, very decent people, they can lead the parties. But parties are not led by people who are so fond of terrorism.
Right.
This is impossible and this is impracticable.
Point well taken. Mr. Rana Maqbool Ahmad, Senator from Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, former IG Police Sindh. Thank you very much for being with us on Perspective tonight. We were also joined on Skype by Mr. Ali Rashid, leader for Pakistan People's Party. Thank you very much for being with us on Perspective tonight. And we were honored to have been joined in the studio by Ms. Asya Nasir, former member of the National Assembly from JUIF. Thank you very much for your time, madam, also for being with us on Perspective tonight. With that, we come to the end of today's show. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.